Well, the most common question that calls into the office about leasing is, what's a reasonable rent and how do we determine a reasonable rent? So I think a lot of things can go into that. We've got our rental rate survey, which is kind of a starting point, and so producers can take a look at what others are paying, and that gives us a place to start with. But we probably ought to step back and take a look at what's the productivity of this farm. And so there's two places I like to go to look for getting an indication of productivity. The first is the Web Soil Survey, which is the NRCS website that has the Corn Suitability Rating Index. So you can go in there and actually map out your fields and draw the area around your fields and take what a look at the CSR rating is for that particular area, not the next 40 acres or 80 acres. And the other thing I like to do is I like to go into the OrthoGIS website and take a look at satellite pictures. So we basically got a picture for every year of the growing season. One is usually in natural light, the other one's usually in infrared. And so I can go in and take a look at those fields and say, okay, do I have ponding issues? Do I have flooding issues? Do I have erosion issues? And it's kind of neat if you've got the ability to lay the two side by side so you can see the soil maps, so you can see the soils. And you look, for example, in the prairie pothole region, you'd have the Okobojies that have soil number 6. Then you can look on the OrthoGIS website and see, okay, did that spot ground out? And that gives me really a good idea about drainage. So soils are important, but there's a lot of other factors that go into play in determining what the rent might be. Field size, field shape, drainage is a big issue for in north central Iowa. And so that's how I take a look at, okay, I've got a starting point with the survey, but really what's been going on out there in that field for the last 5 to 10 years. And I think that as we move forward, the producers are going to take a look at these combine yield monitor maps and all of this big data that's available, and they're going to start to take a look at, okay, I got an idea about the productivity. Now where am I at on profit? Okay, and you got to be able to produce, you got to be able to market. And so with these prices, it's more difficult to do the marketing that we've had in the past. So I think producers are going to start to take a look at, okay, what's the total productivity of this farm and what's my profit? So that's kind of how I think we need to sit down and take a look at where do we need to be with rents and how do we determine a reasonable rent. This is Kelvin Leibold, Area Farm Management Field Specialist with ISU Extension.